Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
If you don't like NFTs, if you don't like crypto, the ethical thing to do is quit Twitter.
Apparently.
But they're not. People are complaining on Twitter about NFTs and crypto and blockchain on a platform that has wholeheartedly embraced the technology. Like, it's going to get worse from here on out.
Literally today, I was checking my Twitter and this picture popped up on my thing. This introducing NFT profile pictures. It came up on my phone. Yeah,
they're going all in on NFTs and crypto on Twitter. Now, I want to disclaim this video before we get into it any further. This is not a video, telling you you should like NFTs or telling you that you shouldn't have the feelings you have about NFTs. I am trying to point out the hypocrisy in boycotting platforms that support NFTs and complaining about it on a platform that supports NFTs.
Right, and like for me, I don't like them. I mean, I'm not gonna tell anybody else they can and can't do. I mean, if somebody gets one and they're happy about it, I'm happy for you. That's cool. I'm not gonna judge you or tell you can't do it. Because if people want to go in on that, that's up to them, and that's their money, and they're cool for them. For me, it's just hard wrapping my head around it because it's not something that it's a tangible thing. Like I keep calling it not fucking tangible. Sorry for swearing, but it just to me, for me, I just can't wrap my head around spending that much money for a picture that I can just make myself and put on my. And put, I'll put a different shape around it. Might be a triangle, or something. And it's just, to me, it seems like a waste of money, in my opinion. However, I completely understand why people are spending money on it. I completely understand why people like it. And, you know what? If they were something they want to get into, then yeah, go them. I'm not going to judge you anyway. I'm like, if you're happy, that's cool.
But this has become the latest ideological purity test. Now, especially with comic book people, it's like if you support crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, blockchain in any form, you are unethical. Meanwhile, they're complaining the loudest on Twitter, which, again, totally embraces the technology.
We're going to put out some tweets here in a bit. I just want to make sure I say, do not contact these people. Do not harass these people.
No.
We're just using them as examples of what's going on. But do not harass anyone.
Yeah, so before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 256,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about pop culture, we talk about making comics, and we talk about NFTs. And NFTs have become weirdly demonized in the comic book space.
It's really strange.
I know that some comic book creators are not on board with it. Other companies are absolutely going all in on NFTs. Like every comic book publisher now seems to be going all in on NFTs. But we saw this weird thing happen, a couple of months ago where Kickstarter announced that they were going to, use blockchain technology and that they were basically going to license out their platform, to other creators if you wanted to host your own website and use the Kickstarter technology, the Kickstarter engine. And I actually thought it was a pretty good idea. Now, they weren't talking, I don't think, about NFTs. They were basically we're using blockchain for security, and you can pay for crowdfunders with crypto and all that.
Right, they're getting mad about the crypto too.
Yeah, all of it.
Any of that. Now, again, if that's something that you like and you want to embrace, then by all means do it. Don't let these people tell you can't.
Right. But the thing is that the comic book industry, weirdly, is policing anyone who has anything to do with NFTs, and they're quitting Kickstarter. And
wait, let's get this straight. So they used to police anybody who that were wrong thinkers in Comicsgate, and now even if you pass that purity test, if you like NFTs or crypto in any way or shape or form, you need to be outlawed for that reason. What kind of gate's this going to be?
I don't know. The problem is
Niftgate.
What?
Niftgate.
The problem is you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's so ridiculous. It's like, I don't know where you intend to go, because even PayPal, they're like, support creators with PayPal or support creators with Shopify or whatever. I'm like, you understand both of those deal in cryptocurrency. Right?
And that's what gets me. It's like, just because you just don't accept it then. It's not a big deal. Just all the companies, I'm sorry, are getting onto this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what company they are. I said even Disney was looking for somebody to hire to
absolutely.
do this. They're all going to go on it. There's nowhere for you to go.
And Substack is being demonized because, it's got wrong thinkers on Substack. Are you yourself publishing offensive material you know, who the hell cares? And then there's this thing, you know, going around, this sentiment that, you know, Substack was only hiring, you know, straight white guys and giving them deals. And I'm like, like half the people they hired are not.
Yeah, I know. But it's because it's the narrative they're trying to
And then they're like, no, stay away from Substack, everybody. Well, now here we have a Marvel editor leaving for Substack. You know?
Because they're getting paid.
They're actually getting paid. Look, the reason people are going all in on the NFTs and the crypto and the Substack is because it's one of the few places in comics where you can actually get paid decently anymore. And yeah, I totally believe the Substack money is going to run out. I think it's venture capital, but you know,
so these people that are jumping on this, are they going to be like, nah, they're going to be blacklisted? Their suddenly other friends are going to unfollow them, and they're going to appear on these lists that like we did, even though we had nothing to do with any of it.
When everybody's Comicsgate, no one is.
That's right.
I mean, what seriously? Like, what mental gymnastics?
Well, this won't be Comicsgate. This will be something else. They'll call it something else.
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? You know, Kickstarter, problematic. Going on the blockchain. We've got people leaving Kickstarter. You're not allowed to use Kickstarter because it's on the blockchain, which it hasn't done. They haven't switched over to that yet, by the way. It's in the pipeline. You can't use Indiegogo because of Comicsgate. Oh my God, you know.
Well, they're going to be using it too. You know damn well.
Yeah.
They all are.
They'll try to gatekeep that. You can't use Substack because wrong thinkers on Substack.
You can't use PayPal because they're using stuff like that.
Right. So this tweet was going around yesterday. This is who is this? Nadia Shamus, who again don't contact anybody, but this is a comic book creator.
Okay.
And I had someone send me this tweet yesterday, and I kind of thought this dovetails nicely with everything we've been talking about, because what are you going to do? She says, now more than ever, we need to directly support creators. Okay. With what? PayPal?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I agree to directly support creators. I don't disagree with that.
Rocks? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Because between the lack of convention sales, true.
Yeah.
And the increasingly vanishing ethical platforms.
Wait, because they use crypto or NFTs, they're not ethical anymore.
They're not ethical.
As she says, on a non-ethical platform.
You are on Twitter. Again, to my point, the purpose of this video is to point out the hypocrisy of leaving platforms because of crypto and NFTs, and you're on a platform that just made a big deal about going all in on it.
Just wait till she makes it about isms and phobes in a minute.
We get there. We get there. We're going to see a lot of the most vulnerable and brilliant creators choked out of the scene. No!
You're choosing to be choked.
You're choosing
if
to
you
be choked.
leave, it's because you're choosing to. No one's forcing you out.
No one is forcing you out. You are forcing yourselves out. You're forcing each other out. Because you're telling people they can't use a platform because it offends your sensibilities.
Right. So basically what they're saying is, but if you don't do what I want, it's because of your istophobic platforms.
We're going to choke you out. But look, this to me comes across as more gatekeeping. Like, oh, it's a real shame that, you know, people aren't going to be allowed to use these platforms anymore because we decided, and we're going to harass any creators that use Kickstarter or Substack.
But they're trying to say that they're being forced out when they're not being forced out. They're choosing to leave. And then this next part, there are obviously layers to this, no shit. But it's cruel and that often the most marginalized people at the whims of large tech companies are the ones who have to choose to take a hit for a moral stance. Bullshit, Nadia! Why is this about marginalization? It has nothing to do with marginalization. No one is keeping you off the platform. No one is saying you can't use it. No one is keeping you off of it in any way, shape, or form. You yourselves are choosing to leave because of this boogeyman that you've made things to be, even though it's literally everywhere. Being on Twitter, you're encouraged. That's acceptable to you for that.
Yeah, right.
But they're doing the same thing you're complaining about. But now it's keeping marginalized people down. No, it's not.
Look at this. Look at all these comic book publishers that are going in on NFT technology. Okay, look at the book. Like Nadia is an agented.
Yeah, right. Check your privilege there, Nadia.
Agented comic book creator.
By someone who doesn't believe in feminism. By the same agent who told me that I wasn't feminist enough because my character smiled when a boy liked her.
And I guarantee you, the book publishers that you're pitching to are probably going to use blockchain or crypto or NFTs at some point.
I love this. This is so funny. Like they're literally shutting themselves in a room, locking the door, and then turning the lights off, and then yelling, "Oh my God, I'm being oppressed! They're keeping me in this room. Open the damn door! You put yourself in there. No one else did."
Go ahead and starve. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, the choice is yours. If you don't like NFTs, don't buy or sell NFTs. But
Okay,
you
go
can't
start-
outrun this whole thing.
Go start your own platform, but you still have to take payment from somewhere, and all the payment processors are using blockchain crypto NFTs of some form.
You could build something on your own. I mean,
But how are you gonna take payments?
you're gonna have to start your own bank. Oh wow, this is getting complicated, and you're also gonna have to learn how to code. Learn to code.
I just think it's funny too, because like for example, electric cars. They keep pushing electric cars. If the problem with blockchain and NFT and all that and crypto is because of electricity it's using and how it's
Right.
destroying the planet, if you switch everybody to electric cars and everybody's using electricity to charge their cars, what do you think is going to happen? And guess what? You still need oil to run those cars, and and even like wind turbines still use oil.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't think this through, but they literally are like enclosing themselves and then saying that everybody's keeping them there. They're keeping themselves there. Like, you can walk out at any time. You're choosing to isolate yourself and then yelling at everybody else and saying it's their fault. But the whole blaming it on marginalized, that it's against marginalized people, that one takes the taco. Speaking of take the taco,
We're gonna talk about Taco Taken Princess here in a couple minutes, but I just want to point out, like, what kind of set me off on this whole thing was I saw these people, giving high fives to each other for getting companies to stop with the NFTs, and they're using Twitter to bully companies out of supporting.
well, if those companies
NFTs.
do them, that's their own. That's on them. They're
That's
the
on
ones that
them.
will be left behind. But they might not support. Okay, they don't support NFTs, but they're still using blockchain or crypto.
They're going to have to at some point. Like, you don't understand. This is Web3. Within a couple of years, even if they're not doing NFTs, most companies in some capacity are going to be using blockchain technology. It might even be as simple as, like, the website host. Our hosting company uses blockchain technology to make sure our site is more secure. Little stupid shit like that, and it's not going away. And you can think NFTs are dumb, and I personally am like, I just don't get the point. I mean, I'm like, I understand people are getting their art stolen. I get that. But again, cutting yourself off completely from ways to monetize your comics and then going out there and complaining you're not making any money.
And then saying it's because of istophobia.
Istophobia is fucking stupid. Like, Kickstarter, they were literally throwing people off of their platform. They were trying to gatekeep it as hard as they could.
But they wish they had those people back now.
I bet they do. I think that's what they're trying to do, is get some of those people back because they went to Indiegogo, but you can't use Indiegogo because that's where the Yahtzees go. And you can't use Substack because that's where the transphobes
But I want to know
are.
how they're going to take payments.
Good
Because
question.
pretty much all the payment processors are have some connection to the blockchain, crypto, or NFTs.
You forced us to give up on comics and go to OnlyFans, where we take PayPal payments and Bitcoin
Right.
payments.
I'm like, there's no way you can avoid it.
It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
You can keep screaming all you want, but this whole idea, I'm going to make it about marginalization. That is the dumbest thing ever. This has nothing to do with that at all.
You're tweeting from your iPhone. Who the hell do you think made your iPhone? Why don't you look into that?
Mm-hmm. You're so offended by the environment and people being misused. Yeah.
Look at the tag on your clothing. Where were your clothes made? Who was making your clothes?
Who's printing your books?
Who's printing your books?
Where they, what's going on there?
Everybody was like, they were all on board with, like, let's get our books printed in China. And it's like, yeah, I'm
You
sure.
say people yelling about, the Milan thing near concentration camps and stuff.
I'm like, look, I'm just telling you, like, at some point, you can't. I mean, this is kind of the situation with. This is why I talk about the religious left, because the religious right kind of fell into this too for the longest time.
But you can never be pure enough.
You can never be pure enough. You can't be a part of this world. And I'm like, but then you get to the point where you're Amish. Okay, I'm going to bring this up, right? Because I'm sure Amish people are watching us on YouTube. No, so even the Amish now, and there are a lot of them in Western Pennsylvania, they're rocking cell phones. Mm-hmm. We signed the lease on our
This is funny.
our third, and it's funny, people were like, oh yeah, you just do YouTube. Now, we do a lot of other stuff. We just signed a lease on another commercial space for another business, and we had to have some electric work done, and it was the electric Amish. He came in, he's an electrician, he's Amish, he did a good job. But what I'm saying is, like, you can't cut yourself off from this completely unless you go off the grid or something.
Well, I was going to say, go off the grid. And I was going to say, but you know what? Fine. If you want to go off the grid, by all means, I encourage it. Please do.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Please do.
That is, look, the one thing I love about Twitter going all in on this shit and chasing paid subscribers and chasing crypto bros and all that. The one thing I love about it is I'm really, really, really hoping that all of the weird ass people that came in from Tumblr in the last couple of years are so offended by the direction of Twitter that they leave and Twitter goes back to being what it was like 8 or 10 years ago.
Well, they'll work until they go to Tumblr, and then Tumblr's like, we're rolling out our NFT program. But back to the Twitter thing. So, and the purity test. Okay, we're going to take us back to tacos and Brie Larson. So, we mentioned this before. Brie Larson stepped in it when she announced she was doing these NFTs.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel has been trending off and on for days over this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly people just shitting all over her and mad because she's doing NFTs. My favorite by far is this one, which I had to address yesterday.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. Do not contact these people. This is one of many, many, many idiotic takes out there. I mean, there are literally thousands of tweets like this. They have all turned on Brie Larson, and it's kind of beautiful to watch. Bitch, I did not fight in wars, tooth and nail. What, like Vietnam?
No, that's what I read. When I read this, I was like, oh my God, is this like a somebody who was like a vet?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they fought in wars for freedom of speech, right? And then they're like, against incels over your performance in Captain Marvel. Literally comparing wars. Fighting in wars. This is their Vietnam.
For fuck's
Because they
sake.
fought people who didn't like Captain Marvel. And don't you know every person ever who didn't like Captain Marvel is automatically an incel? I'm sure they're straight white and male too. For you to turn around and do me like this. And then I was like, I was like, whoa. They fought in wars. And I'm like, wait, what? Well, you're comparing arguing with people over Captain Marvel being good or not to fighting in a war. Okay. And they literally believe it's like fighting in a war. So I couldn't resist. I was like, this entitlement is the problem. Like, you have celebrities like Brie Larson who are out there like causing, division and being divisive and all this other shit before that. And quite frankly, she wasn't that good in Captain Marvel. And people, there was all this backlash over it. It caused all kinds of issues. And the entitlement is so high from Hollywood that they kiss these people's asses on Twitter. They always are going to turn on you. You need to cancel this entitlement and the stupidity first, because it's always going to bite you in the ass. It's always going to bite the hand that feeds it. And then I couldn't resist. I was like, grand person, tell me again how you were injured in the Captain Marvel wars. Because they literally think they're fighting some kind of actual war.
Well, this is what we talk about. Well, why is all of this stuff, flame wars on Twitter and stuff, why is it escalating to the level it's escalating? Because these people literally think they're on a holy crusade.
It's the Crusades.
It's like
over Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. This is the hill. A middling MCU movie is the hill you're gonna die on. Mm-hmm. And fucking NFTs, which are
they're going nuts over there. I was gonna watch Captain Marvel too, but now I'm not.
Good.
But it's funny to me because these are the people that, like, when people point out, like, hey, there's all these sold out theaters, but the seats are half empty. That's not true. You're lying. And they're like, anytime you said you didn't, I was like, it was okay, but I didn't really like it that much. It was okay. They would rip you to pieces because how dare you? You're just always an incel and a misogynist and all that crap. And then as soon as she does something they don't like, as soon as she does it, like, I had fought in the war for you and you betrayed me.
Oh my God. And there were thousands and thousands of people dogpiling her. And the reason they're doing it is it's just, it's cancel culture. They've gotten what they wanted before. They've actually had companies walk it back. They've dogpiled them about NFTs, and usually they're smaller companies. They're like, yeah, okay, we heard you. We don't want to get backlash, so we're gonna stop with the NFTs. But then a company like Disney is gonna be like, we're gonna throw mouse ears on that shit.
No, they are. I told you, they literally have a job description out. They're hiring somebody for a marketing position where the part of your job description is they want you to be passionate and familiar with things like NFTs. Because that's what they're gonna do.
So I am imploring you, if you feel so strongly about crypto and blockchain and NFTs, for the love of God, leave Twitter now. Leave it now.
Just leave the internet.
Yeah, leave the internet now, because, it's only going to get worse. And I don't want you to be offended. You know,
It's for your own good, really.
you guys, you can go form some, little commune somewhere, Chaz 2.0, and you can all hang out, and you can trade, Xeroxed fanzines with each other.
However, flip side of this, if they're going to be this pissed off, they're going to go after all the celebrities that they kissed their asses for all this time in Hollywood, and they're going to take Hollywood down a peg. By all means, they could do that too. Because then Hollywood might learn a lesson. They've been chasing these people. They've been kissing their ass. They've been bending over, doing everything they can to appeal to Twitter. Fucking Twitter. Sorry, Mom. And this is what happens when you step out of line just a little bit that they think you did. I mean, it's ridiculous. You have no power, Hollywood. You think you do, but you have none. Because you already pissed off all the people, the majority of people that you pissed off because of the way you behaved. So they already turned their back on you, and the ones that you pander to, cater to, they're turning on you now too. So you get what you deserve.
If only there were some YouTube channels that maybe were trying to warn people in Hollywood that catering to this audience would end badly. If only.
I know, right?
Some people were like, hey, you realize that Twitter is probably less than 1% of the actual population and you shouldn't listen to them. And
they're not representative of most viewers.
The real world.
Large, yeah.
And they're crazies, that the worst of the worst that came in from Tumblr. If only somebody would have warned you that things were going to go this badly for you. So
yeah.
Let them eat digital cake, I guess.
That's what it reminds me of, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of extra insulting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is because like a Marie Antoinette, and then they're like, they kissed her ass and and defended her.
Yeah.
Let them eat cake.
So.
Oh my God, that's perfect. I love it so much.
So,
it makes me so happy.
How many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars did she pay for this? How much cake could you have given to the poor peoples of Twitter?
I'm like, if you give this much money just to make a picture that they can put a hexagon around, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll make some. How many thousands are they spending on this? I'll do like 10 and they can pay me like all this money.
Then you'll get canceled.
They already canceled. Well, for which thing? Take a number. This is like number 1020 on my list of things they've canceled me for. So I'm like, I should just do it. I don't personally believe in it, but I'll take their money.
If you're dumb enough to pay for it.
I'm like, because that's all it is. If somebody's making this stuff up, putting NFT with their names, getting some celebrities to say they're great, and then they're making all kinds of money. I'm like, hot damn.
Yep. All right. So are we going to wrap this up?
Yep.
So there you go, guys. Parting words. Leave Twitter now. It's unethical. You have a moral obligation to leave Twitter. You have a moral obligation to quit the comic book industry entirely because they're all corrupt. All of them. They're all corrupt.
So if you're gonna go out there and claim that it's against marginalized people, that it's a bad thing that you have to stand up against because, calling this shit out, then you need to put your money where your mouth is. If you really should sincerely think it's that bad, you hate it that much, you just guess you have to leave everything involved with it. In Twitter where you're sitting there screaming about it. But this whole idea that it's keeping you down. You're keeping yourself down. You're locking yourself in a room and then trying to blame it on istophobia that you yourself are just doing to yourself. Self-inflicted istophobia.
In the immortal words of Gollum, go away! Just leave. Leave,
You're gonna
please.
say my precious. I mean, that's their morals. My precious.
No, that's selective morality. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
It's gone way too long.
Yes, it has.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.